Hello, Reckonate7 and welcome back to Combat Mission Battle for Normandy as we rejoin the 130th Panzer Regiment as we push across a tributary of the Veer as we counterattack the Allied forces. And indeed we have managed to secure a bit of a bridgehead across this tributary. We've got forces across on the left and on the right and are starting to build a bit of an infantry foothold. The only place we can of course get vehicles across is a shallow ford on our right flank. Aside from that, there's a deep ford which is infantry only and a bridge which is blocked. So we have managed to push back the US infantry from most of their initial positions. They've still got a little bit of a strong point in the centre we need to deal with. And of course we've seen the the Allied armour in the guise of some Shermans start to turn up and cause us a few problems, especially in this left-hand flank where we have lost a few half-tracks and taken a fair number of infantry casualties. So we, as we head in, the kind of main objectives are as follows. First, we're going to use our half-track Canary to determine if we successfully knocked out the 80 guns with our 105mm howitzer barrage. If that has been the case, then I want to build a kind of a 3 Panzer IV force in the centre here to start, give us a bit of overwatch and potentially maybe engage the odd Sherman at long range. Secondly, on this left flank, we're going to try and clear ourselves so we're not in line of fire of these Shermans. Secure the infantry foothold. We can't push anyone else across because of these US positions here of a line of fire. So we're going to use the rest of our mortar bombs to suppress and hopefully cause some casualties in amongst those guys and then attempt to potentially drive them away. In the meantime, I'm also going to relocate the armoured car. Definitely this guy and maybe this one as well, I haven't quite decided, to start putting some pressure on the American infantry position in the centre, so hopefully we can push it across with our infantry there. Otherwise, we're kind of holding our armour where it is. I'm a little bit nervous as they might end up in some engagements with the US, which should be fine, but as ever, if you lose the spotting competition, things may go badly. And in fact, now that we don't have as much threat from small arms, let's perhaps open ourselves up so we have a bit better sight. One thing I did want to mention is this guy. So he was trundling to take a position in the centre just as a bit of overwatch down this road. And I have no idea what happened. I came in to give him a move order and found out he has been immobilised. He has registered no damage, so it's not as if he's taken a round or something, and he's quite happily sitting in the middle of a road. So not sure what's happened here. But something has caused him to get stuck, and unfortunately it's a terrible position because he can't say anything. So he is essentially mission killed. But there we have it. So probably not going to too much going to happen the first few minutes, so I'll duck away and cover those, and then maybe bring it back when we get ourselves in a bit better position and we're either happy that these things don't exist, and we'll talk about how we're going to potentially counter the US armour. Grant. Okay, brought you back quickly, just because a minor event happened while we were still in very much of the repositioning phase. As I said, I was bringing the armoured car over to help use the kind of ammo that has left on the centre position. And comfortable and confident that I was out of sight of any armoured or AT assets or fixed AT assets, and then that happened. So it just seems to be a bazooka round from the infantry, which we knew about back here, which, I mean, that's actually a heck of a shot. I've got to give them credit for them. I mean, that's got to be maybe, I don't know, 150 metres-ish? Well, we can find out in a minute, actually. Just insult to injury, some machine gun rounds. If we click on this. Tell me, my friend, how far is it to that hedgerow? Yeah, 150. Check, I mean, estimating distances. So that's certainly feasible within a range of bazooka. You're talking, what, up 200 metres? But not the easiest shot, not the easiest sight lines through the trees. So pretty fortunate of the Americans there. But that's happened. Take enough shots, one of them's going to hit. So, yeah. Just going to have to kind of eat that one up. A bit annoying, and it means I am definitely going to have to bring the recon car from the right hand flank to the centre to try and suppress those Americans there, or some Panzers, but I'd rather use up the recon car and have the Panzers more in a position to keep an eye out for the American armour. Anyway, I'll continue my shuffling things about, and we'll come back in a couple minutes when we're ready to make the next push. Okay, so a couple of minutes gone, and on the good news, it does appear these AT guns are all out of commission. This guy hasn't had a single shot. On the downside, as you can see here, he is found a position. Actually, he's just got sight of this Sherman over there. If you zoom in, you can see a nice little hull down position. Not quite perfect, but that they've got themselves into there. Throw ourselves back. And so I picked up in the last minute. Was trying to get him out of there. And there's one missed shot as he essentially dived for this valley, but didn't long be able to be seen. And unfortunately, the second shot came in. Not the end of the world. This was a sacrificial pawn, and I'm kind of happy we seem to have confirmed these guns are out of action. So what I am going to do, I had started to do, is I'm gathering up a pack of 3 Panzers, and we're going to come along and get ourselves into kind of a hull down position over here. Using this slight rise, we'll come up, and the intent will be to try and take these guys on. I'd like to have got it where we'd take them on in a kind of 3v1. It looks like it's going to 3v2 is the kind of best that we're going to do. A couple of things I could probably do to improve my odds. And potentially we might do that. I could drop some artillery on these guys. Not looking to necessarily cause damage, but just to get them to close up and disrupt their sight lines, so my tanks have the edge. Alternatively, I was hopefully relying on the kind of communications network a little bit. This guy has been in position for a while. He does have a radio. So I was hoping the position of these tanks had filtered through that kind of C2 lines. Doesn't appear to have done so. If I look at, where's your company HQ? Not you. You. So even his company HQ hasn't got indication that there's tanks over there, despite being in radio contact with this guy. So it's a bit annoying that that information isn't filtering through better, but that's the way it goes. I'm still going to try and get a pack of Panzers to come and see if we can't make a dent in these guys over here. So we'll get myself positioned for that. It'll be another couple minutes, and all going well, we'll come back. In the meantime, we're continuing just kind of fan out, mop up little bits of infantry in here and there, but nothing really momentous. Okay, just come briefly back, because a few decisions made. So I'd talked about potentially doing it, and decided I am. So I've queued up an artillery badge, just using some of the 3-inch mortars that we had, because we had like 100 rounds left. Haven't used them yet. This is the off-map ones, it's not the half-track. Just give them a medium short mission. Again, just trying to disrupt them, impact their sight lines, get them to cover up, just to help us have the edge in spotting. It will take 10 minutes to come in, but I'm not in a rush. We still have lots and lots of time. The other item I want to mention is we did get spot of this guy, another Sherman, which we had seen coming down the road. So there's potentially kind of 6 tanks in and around here, if it's 2 separate kind of units. And they do appear static, but just in case they start moving, I do want to try and get some armor on this side of the river. So I'm going to, given that we are, pretty confident those AT guns don't exist anymore, I'm going to push some of my Panzers forward and actually get them across, and then take up even just a few defensive positions to begin with, and then we'll think how to best leverage them. I mean, I'd love to drive one along here and just hit these guys in the side, which is something we may well do, but I just need to check the angles of these defensive positions, and also make sure we're not unprepared should they suddenly roll forward. So you go, that's decision. So I'll cut away until I get these guys across the river. So probably going to bring 3 of them across. I've got 3 of them here. I'm going to got kind of a floaty man in the middle. I need to decide what I'm going to do with. Probably venture him across long term. Maybe leave him where he is for just now. And of course we've got one on the left flank, which is doing, to be honest, a whole heap of not very much. And in fact, what I think I'm going to do with this guy is bring him all the way, if I can find a path, through into here. And so when we pop up on that side, have him pop up in this hill position as well. Because this is a lovely position with which to engage that American armour. And other two ands. I wanted to bring another one to have two Panzer IVs away. Do you know what, I might, given I've got 10 minutes, I might see if I can work a guy along the back of the map out of sight of these positions. So I'll have two Panzers here, three in the middle, engaging these three. And that should give me kind of overwhelming fire superiority to knock them out with ideally minimal losses. So that's, we're going to set that up as our next step in unlocking the US positions. I'm still in review action. Let's jump out of that a moment. Oh. Oh. This is interesting. Okay, I was actually not expecting this. So again, it's a custom made one. The brief is very brief and doesn't tell you about reinforcements. So we have another 4 tanks and a whole other company. Awesome. Okay, I'm definitely going to switch some over to this flank then. So don't upset my numbers. No, I think we'll keep that. We'll have a group of 3. We'll have a group of 2 on this left-hand flank, and we're going to keep maybe U4 in reserve to push over an assist. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So I'll get those things set up, and all going well, it's going to be very quiet, 5 minutes or so, and we'll come back when we're actually in a position to attempt to engage. Alright, so I was just getting my forces in position, as discussed, getting ready to kind of ambush these Shermans, gathering 3 of my panzers just on the edge of the woods here. When a rather peculiar thing happened. I thought these guys were essentially hidden from view, but it turns out from this guy's turret position, if you zoom all the way in it now, I have no idea how he managed to make this spot, because quite clearly I can't see anything. But if you wave a magic wand and make the trees vanish, hello, and apparently he spotted it. So partly it was my own mistake for not realising you could get kind of sight line through the trees. On the plus side, as you see this little orange dot, he has fired a shot actually, which is currently on its way, and looks pretty good by that gauge, so we'll see how that goes. Now unfortunately, so he has only seen one, and as we saw there, he does have line of sight to the turret the other, and may come under unwanted attention. Now you, my friend, since we're down here checking these kind of things, can you also see? You can. Okay, so I may have kicked this engagement off slightly earlier than I had really been planning to, which may go against this actually, because now we've only really got 2 tanks involved against 2 tanks rather than the full 5 we were trying to gear up. You are facing the wrong way, and where are you going? Okay, I'll need to do these. In fact, I'll do them now, and then we're going to come back and see how that hit lands. Right, tidied up those movement orders. They were just having some difficulty in the woods. They're generally pretty good at ploughing through, even when it looks like they shouldn't, but do occasionally get caught up. So, yeah, let's maybe just jump into this minute, and we'll see if we can't nail ourselves a Sherman. More through fortune than skill, but you got to take these things. We had a bit of not necessarily unluck, but low percentage chance hits from the Americans with their long-range bazooka shots, so maybe we'll get a low percentage chance spotting first hit on the Sherman with the 75. Let's find out. Oh, he went short. That's a shame. That looked good. Worth noting, I have seen some more American infantry bombing around. Looks like they are moving into support. Ooh. So it doesn't look like he actually hit the tank there, but it looks like he maybe hit nearby. Our long-range shots are not being particularly effective here. I'm worried we're going to lose a tank in a moment. That's 3 shots he's had now with chances to correct and has fluffed them all. Now he's engaging 2 tanks and there we go, gone. And you can't see anything. This was not the way it was supposed to play out. Okay. And I think there was a poor, yeah, rifle unit here just getting chewed up for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Rough, rough. Which means I think I'm going to pull you back, because I don't want you engaging early. And we'll make sure our tanks are. Okay, and we will go back to plan A, where we try and engage them in 2 flanks at once. But I'm really disappointed. We had like 3 shots there and just missed them all. That's disappointing. Right. Anyway, I'll continue to set this trap and bring you back when something happens. Okay, fair few minutes down the road. We're ready to kind of spring this armoured offensive. We did also get another Panzer Grenadier company in reinforcements, which really starts to make me feel like I'm not using my current infantry assets enough, given we are getting more reinforcements in. So I might need to be a bit more bold with them, given that we're almost an hour in and I'm still fairly passive with these. But anyway, important thing. So we had our mortar barrage. Most of it fell last turn. No direct hits, not that we were trying to take out the tanks. Obviously the important thing is it has forced them both to cover up. There was a couple of near-ish hits, so you never know, might have damaged optics. You can always get a bit lucky. So we are going to push forward 3 tanks in the centre. And I'm going to come forward further than I was last time to try and make use of this little rise, just so we prevent a smaller profile as a target, and we are going to pop up over here with 1 tank as well. Unfortunately, these guys, who I broke off from our replacement 4, so we got actually the other 2 I've sent down there before they came in here. That is, 2 have gone that way and 2 have broke off and sent this way, because I think that's such a good dominating position, and given we've seen a lot of infantry, I thought it'd be useful to hold anyway, even after we've knocked in these. Slight complicated matters, we have seen another truck trundling down the road, or tank I should say, so we'll have to see where they end up as well. But yeah, this could be, hopefully, an eventful minute, although given the amount of smoke, it might take a little bit of time for it to clear, but you never know. So we'll give it a go. We make sure everyone's open up. They all should be. No, you shut it off, you shut it off. Please, you are open already, and you're open already. Beautiful. Let's see if we can't hunt ourselves some Shermans. He's in a really good position. Just pops up, we'll get kind of side-on view of these guys. Hopefully we'll get the first shot off. It says hopefully. Oh, some American artillery starting to fall now. Ooh. Yeah, hammering that little platoon position. That's probably a fair few casualties we're picking up there. Fair play to them. That's it. It's a good artillery dump. Surprisingly few shots from anyone right now. Oh. Oh, okay. We hadn't even spotted. First shot, first kill goes to the Americans. That's supremely disappointing. Yeah. Do you have vision? You can see a tank, and they're firing. Looks wildly off target, and you can't see anything yet. Best laid plans. Right, how are you doing? Because I was quite bullish. Ah, you're not far forward enough. That's a fairly massive error, actually. You need to creep up. And then I'm going to give you a hunt forward and one more action square. Okay. This could all go horribly, horribly wrong. Right, you guys are making your way. When you get here, I'd like you quick as you can to head over in that direction so you're ready to support this position. Again, would be better to have them there at the start. We're now down to a 3-on-3 tank engagement actually. One where I do not have the better position. We shall see. Alright, let's stick with this for one more minute, see if we can't turn the tide slightly. Although I fear we're just going to see more panzers getting pinged. Yeah, that's just the same one being hit again. Hopefully that's giving them away to somewhere other. Another shot there by Panzer IV. Another miss. Third shot on that one, Panzer. Third shot out from this guy. Oh, a deflection. Interesting. Okay, all guns merrily firing. Not very many hits though. The return fire is unerringly accurate. So we did strike one, but it just glanced off. And I'm really disappointed our chap up here is not making better with his position. Yeah, just miss. And a few hits nailed from them. Okay. Well, this has gone somewhat terribly. I'm going to stick with it. Another company's arrived. Okay. For one more turn. Because we're kind of committed. And we'll see if we can at least get some even trades. But I worry our exposed tank over here is not long for this world. Well, they're still facing this direction. Another miss. No response. Another miss. He's seen something. Hit off the front turret. Wow. Oh, we hit a weapon there. That's something. Another miss. And the minute's done. Okay. Plus side, we've got some reinforcements coming over here. Negative side is even when we hit them, we haven't managed to knock them out. Right, I do need to go and check in with the rest of our tanks. In fact, you were hit, but you're actually in an okay state. It was just your coaxials out of action, your track slight damage, but your main gun is good. Right, we'll get you back in the fight. Okay. I mean, needless to say, this didn't really go quite as planned. The Shermans are standing up really well to these 75mm rounds. We'll have to try and get a few side on, which I was kind of hoping here, but they seem to have reoriented themselves. There's a little bit of an American infantry push coming on this right-hand side, which we are robustly dealing with. So that's fine. And we'll have to see what happens to these tanks charging down the road. I do have some exposed people, so we'll have to see what happens there. Okay, I need to go check the rest of my forces, and we'll come back and we'll watch this next minute live, see if we can, you know, knock out an American tank. Okay, infantry orders tweaked. Supporting tanks being brought into position. Let's see how we get on. Another shot away. Another hit and bounce. We are engaging from a couple of angles, but there you go, that angled armor doing phenomenal work there. Let's come around this way. Oh, interesting to see where these tanks end up going as well. Thankfully, their vision seems to be pretty terrible at the minute. Although they might get eyes on this guy as he moves forward. Oh, we actually got a penetration. Excellent. So I think this guy is combat ineffective, if nothing else. It's a penetration of the weapon mount and a direct hit on the weapon itself. So you know, it's only about 3 tanks lost for 1 now. There's Americans coming across this road, and we do have an MG42 at the base of it, which looks to be causing them a few problems. Oh, hit to the weapon. Okay, that could be very good, as often it means the demise of the main gun. Not always. And I'm not sure exactly where that hit. Ah, it looks like it's a machine gun that's hit. Okay. It's not the main gun. Fine. But, well, that was a much better turn. 1 tank lost on their side, 0 lost on our side. To be honest, the way things have been going, those are odds I am going to take. Let's stick with this for just now. I'm keen to see what your sight lines are like. A touch exposed, I think, from the trees, but I think you should be able to if we knock these trees away. Yeah, you should have good vision, so it's probably disrupting you a little bit. And I might sneak you forward 1 action square. Meanwhile, our other friend over here, like you've just been taking your time getting position. Again, let's sneak you forward 1. Now, so that tank, yeah, you definitely should have line of sight onto him. We'll see how that goes. And last but not least, this chap. Who is claiming blindness. Why don't we scoot forward a little bit? Okay, good. And many, many more Shermans trundling down the road. At least we've got a reasonable number of anti-tank teams, if we can get close enough to them. But I'd like to, because I'd like to be able to bring these tanks over to the middle and help take care of this area, so we can then push across for infantry. Well, I got even more infantry reinforcements, so I do really need to think about how I'm going to utilize these, because I have a lot of firepower doing a whole lot of nothing at the minute. So I really need to bring them into the fight. But to do that, I need to get a bit of freedom of movement from these pesky tanks. Still got plenty of time on the clock, not concerned about that. Yeah, and potentially I think we might, because I've got quite a luxury of infantry, might even try and push like a company of infantry up and into these woods, and then look at the, or threaten the objective from that right hand flank as well. But I need to knock out some more of this armour for that to be in any way hopeful. So let's see if these positions can't be a little bit more fruitful. Another shot out. Oh, and another miss. Return fire. And a dead Panzer IV. Of course. Of course. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Another swing, another miss. Only fact his turret's now pointing in this direction. Oh, bounce one off the mount. At least we hit. Can't ask more than that, I suppose. Couple more shots come in. Not many shots from this direction though, even though he's firing at them. Yes! Beautiful. While he's staring in one direction, we hit him in the side. Okay, so that's 2 of these tanks neutralized, and we've lost too many. 1, 2, 3. I think? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. So, by no means a fair exchange. Although this little enfilading position we've got here, I think is doing quite a good job for us. So I don't think they can actually see our position as he casually bursts MG42 down the road. Hopefully just picks off a few people here and there. I doubt I'm even seeing half the casualties. I mean, eventually they're going to spot me and respond with probably slightly a worrying increase in caliber, but there you go. Hey, we get to see that again. Okay, this is getting better. Although still not perfect, still not great. You are yeah, you're really having trouble seeing. You two seem to be doing well. You were doing better. I'd like you to open up again. And then we'll have to see what we want to do about that chap. But at least we've cleared out some of this position on my left. You're still in a good position. Good, 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 good. But yeah. Brutal, brutal. We've still got at least a reasonable number of tanks. We just need to be careful how we deploy them now. Let's go 1 more minute, see if we can't clear up over here a little bit. And then we'll probably call that a day. And it'll be a kind of a reasonable success, I think. Right, I just want to check from this guy's position what we got eyes on. Yeah, all lots and lots and lots of trees. So what I want to do is actually reposition this guy over slightly. So he's a better view of this guy through this kind of a gap, so about here. And maybe what we'll do is just get him to pop out, you know, fire off a shot, and then run away again, if we're not. Because this is going to be a kind of one-on-one scenario. Okay. Alright. Let's watch 1 more minute, real time, see if we can find ourselves a burning Sherman. I don't think any of my others are going to see this 3rd Sherman on the left here. He has escaped. So there's still a couple of mobile Shermans which could be problematic for infantry. Although I think his machine gun's out of action as well. We still may have a coaxial. And then we've just got these mere 6 Shermans we've got to work out how to deal with. Well, that's 1 less of ours. That's disappointing. That's a pretty good spot from that guy. So you. Yeah, it was. I mean, fair enough if you move the trees, but I have no idea how he saw anything. Grumble, 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 grumble. Okay. Alright, that's the minute, that's the time, and that's what we're going to call it. That was not a great passage. That's 4 Panzer IVs we've lost for 2 Shermans. And yeah. And we seem to be just kind of getting picked off wherever we try and engage. I'm worried now this chap's going to get caught by the magic seeing through the tree eyes of the Americans over there. Okay, so yeah, we are going to have to try and push with our force here. I really need to use these infantry troops better. Potentially even if we can get close enough to actually use some of our massive amounts of anti-tank capabilities for infantry. Obviously it's very, very short range, and this is quite open terrain, but we might be able to give it a go. But as ever, I do hope you have enjoyed it. Do leave thoughts, comments, queries down below, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Cheerio.